What if your heart has been whispering to you all along, but you've been listening with your mind? There's a sound beneath your thoughts, a rhythm older than memory itself. It beats not just to keep you alive, but to remind you that you are alive. Take a slow breath. Let it travel deep into your chest. Now gently place your hand over your heart. Don't try to fix anything. Just feel, there it is, that quiet pulse beneath your fingers. It's not just a heartbeat. It's a language of emotion, of memory, of energy. Every time you've loved, lost, or longed, your heart remembered. Not through words, but through vibrations. Tiny electric waves that move through every cell, telling your body, this mattered. Scientists once thought the brain was the center of everything. But new discoveries are proving something ancient, that the heart has its own intelligence, its own network of neurons, its own way of thinking, feeling, remembering. Dr. J. Andrew Armour called it the heart brain, and mystics, long before him, called it the seat of the soul. When you touch this point, you awaken that ancient connection between feeling and knowing, between biology and spirit. It's where your emotions first form before your mind gives them meaning. So tonight, let's listen, not with logic, but with presence, because the heart doesn't speak in sentences, it speaks in sensations, warmth, tightness, a flutter, a calm. These are messages, echoes from moments that still live within you. The ache you sometimes feel in your chest isn't weakness, it's your heart trying to heal, and maybe that's why you're here. Something inside you is ready to release what you've carried for too long, so breathe. Stay right here with me. You don't need to understand. You just need to feel. If you can sense that quiet stirring, that's your sign. Your body is remembering harmony. This is beyond the brain, where science meets spirit, and where healing begins, not in thought, but in the rhythm of the heart. Long before doctors spoke of neurons or hormones, the ancients spoke of energy points, tiny doorways within the body where heaven and earth meet. In Chinese medicine, they called one of these doorways Shanzhong, the Sea of Tranquility. It rests quietly at the center of your chest, right where your fingers touch when you say, me. They believed this point was sacred, a bridge between the physical and the emotional, between your breath and your spirit. When life felt heavy, healers would gently press this spot to open the flow of energy through the heart. The Egyptians spoke of a similar power. In the Book of the Heart, the ancient scribes wrote, "Within the heart lies the memory of every soul." To them, the heart wasn't a pump, it was a keeper of truth. At death, it was weighed against a feather. Only a heart free of burden could rise. The same idea appears in the Upanishads, one of India's oldest spiritual texts. It says, "In the lotus of the heart dwells the light of all beings. He who knows it knows eternity." Imagine that, a single point in your chest, described across civilizations as a doorway to peace, wisdom, and healing. Now, science is catching up. Modern researchers have found that pressing or gently massaging this center can calm the vagus nerve, the body's main pathway of relaxation. It lowers your heart rate, softens your breath, and tells your nervous system you are safe now. Dr. Roland McCraty of the Heart Math Institute writes in The Science of the Heart, "When we shift our attention to the heart area and generate a feeling of care or gratitude, the heart's rhythm becomes more coherent and the entire body begins to harmonize." In other words, when you place your hand on your chest with intention, you're not just comforting yourself, you're changing the electrical rhythm of your heart. And the heart, in turn, begins to communicate that new signal to every cell, every organ, every emotion. This ancient heart point is more than skin and bone. It's a memory field. It remembers your first heartbeat in the womb, and every wave of love, fear, and loss since. When you gently hold it, you remind your body that it can let go, that it's safe to feel again, that you can forgive yourself for holding on so tightly. Take a slow inhale. Let it rise beneath your hand. Now exhale and imagine a soft golden light flowing from your palm into your chest, melting the old stories your body has kept. This is how the ancients healed, not with force, but with presence. They trusted that the body, when touched with awareness, would remember how to balance itself. The mystic Rumi once wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Perhaps this is what he meant, that healing doesn't come from escaping pain, but from holding it softly until it transforms. So as you rest your hand there, ask yourself, what is my heart still holding that longs to be free? Sometimes it's not an answer we need, but a pause, a breath, a space where old emotions can finally exhale. And maybe that's the real secret the ancients left us, that the body remembers harmony and the heart knows the way home. When you close your eyes and touch your heart, you're not only feeling your pulse, you're touching the deepest library of your being. Science once told us that memory lives only in the brain, stored in patterns of neurons and synapses. But now researchers are beginning to see that the body remembers too. Dr. Candace Pert, in her groundbreaking book, Molecules of Emotion, wrote, "Your body is your subconscious mind. Every cell stores emotions as chemical memories. It's not poetry, it's biology. Each time you experience a strong emotion, love, fear, grief, your body releases messenger molecules called neuropeptides. They travel through your bloodstream, binding to receptors in your heart, your gut, your muscles. And those receptors remember. They carry the vibration of that feeling. That's why sometimes your chest tightens when you recall a painful memory, or your stomach flutters when something beautiful happens. Your body isn't reacting to the present, it's echoing a story from the past. Neuroscientists now call this somatic memory. It's how trauma, joy, and love are written into the tissues of the body. They live not just as thoughts, but as sensations waiting to be acknowledged. In 1999, the HeartMath Institute conducted a remarkable study. Participants were asked to focus on feelings of gratitude while monitoring their heart rhythms. Within minutes, their heartbeats shifted into what scientists call coherence, a smooth, wave-like pattern linked to emotional balance. What's more, the brain followed the heart's rhythm, not the other way around. Dr. Joe Dispenza, in Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, explains this connection beautifully. When the heart becomes coherent, it sends a rhythmic signal to the brain that changes how we think, feel, and perceive the world. So perhaps emotion isn't something that happens to us. Perhaps it's something we store and can consciously release. That's the power of touching the heart point. When you place your hand there, you're not only comforting your nervous system, you're activating your body's memory switch. You're allowing long-forgotten emotions to surface, dissolve, and finally breathe. Modern neuroscience and ancient healing both whisper the same truth. What the mind forgets, the body remembers. Even trauma therapists like Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, author of The Body Keeps the Score, emphasize this unity. He writes, "The body keeps the score. It remembers what the mind tries to forget. And the first step toward release is awareness, a gentle recognition that the feeling you carry isn't who you are. It's simply energy waiting to move through you. Let's test this truth for a moment. Place your right hand over your chest again. Breathe slowly in. Feel the rise beneath your palm, the faint movement, the warmth. Now recall something unresolved, not to relive it, but to witness it. Let the feeling appear as color, as light, as sound, however it wishes, and whisper softly to your heart, "I see you. You are safe." As you breathe, notice how your body responds. Maybe there's a sigh, a release, a quiet tear. That's energy transforming. That's science meeting spirit in real time. It's not about erasing the past. It's about integrating it. Allowing your heart's electromagnetic field, yes, the measurable energy it radiates, to harmonize with your present state. Dr. Rollin McCraty describes it in his research. The heart generates the body's most powerful rhythmic electromagnetic field, which can influence brain processes and emotional stability. So when you heal through the heart, you're literally changing your electromagnetic signature. You begin to attract experiences that match peace instead of pain, coherence instead of chaos. And that is what ancient mystics intuitively knew, that emotion is energy in motion. That to feel deeply is not weakness, but awakening. Maybe that's why every culture, from Egypt to India to Greece, linked the heart not just with love, but with truth. Because the heart doesn't lie. It vibrates only in alignment or resistance, never in deception. So as you sit here, hand over heart, breathing with awareness. You're not doing something woo-woo. You're participating in the oldest ritual on earth, remembering what it means to be whole. The ancients called it energy healing. Science calls it nervous system regulation. But both point to the same reality. The body speaks if only we listen. Now that you understand how the heart holds memories, let's move from knowing to feeling. Take a slow breath in and exhale gently through the mouth. Let your shoulders soften. Let the day fall away. You're not just watching a video, you're entering a quiet ritual, a sacred conversation between your body and your soul. Ancient healers believed there are invisible rivers of energy flowing through us, meridians, nadis, channels of light. Modern science might call them neural highways or vagus nerve pathways. Different languages, same truth. Energy moves through the body like breath through wind. And sometimes that current gets blocked. The place we're focusing on, just above the center of your chest. Between the sternum and the soft space near your throat, is known in Chinese medicine as Shan Zhong, the Sea of Tranquility. It's the meeting point of several meridians, a bridge between breath and emotion. Gently bring your fingertips to this space now. Not pressing, just resting, like you're greeting your own heart. Close your eyes if you can. Notice the warmth beneath your touch. That warmth is energy responding. It's your nervous system shifting from defense to safety, from tension to trust. As you inhale, imagine a golden light entering your chest. Soft, round, warm. As you exhale, imagine that light expanding, clearing the pathways of old memories, melting away the small walls built from years of unspoken feelings. Dr. Daniel Goleman, in Emotional Intelligence, wrote, "The more aware we are of our own emotions, the more gracefully we can guide them." That's exactly what this moment is, awareness guiding emotion into harmony. Now, try this variation. Move your fingers slightly in a slow, circular motion, small, gentle spirals on your chest. As you do, whisper silently, "I am safe to feel." You might feel a tingling, a warmth, or even an unexpected wave of emotion. Don't resist it. You're unlocking pathways that have been waiting patiently. You see, the vagus nerve, that great wandering nerve connecting brain, heart, and gut, passes near this very point. When stimulated gently through touch or slow breathing, it signals the body to relax, to release, to restore. In his book, Accessing the Healing Power of the Vagus Nerve, Stanley Rosenberg describes it this way. Gentle stimulation of the vagus nerve can shift the body from a state of survival to one of safety and connection. That's exactly what you're doing, inviting your body to remember what peace feels like. Now, let's add one more layer, the breath of release. Inhale deeply, letting the air fill the chest. Hold for a brief pause, then exhale slowly, as if sighing out an old story. Each breath carries away fragments of fear. Each exhale makes more space for light. You might imagine a soft stream of silver light flowing from your fingertips into your heart, illuminating forgotten corridors. Those corridors are your energy pathways, where emotion and memory intertwine. The ancient Egyptians called this the Ka, the life force that moves through the heart's chamber. In their temples, initiates were taught that by placing a hand over the heart and breathing rhythmically, they could align the human spirit with the divine pulse of creation. Whether you believe in ancient wisdom or modern anatomy, what matters is this. You can feel it. That gentle rhythm beneath your palm, it's not random. It's the language of life. Now take one more deep breath. Inhale calm, exhale gratitude. Imagine every cell of your body listening to your heart's new message. I am open. I'm safe, I'm loved. If tears come, let them. If silence arrives, honor it. Healing doesn't always roar. Sometimes it hums quietly under the skin. Dr. Bruce Lipton, author of The Biology of Belief, once said, "When we change the signals we send to our cells, we change our biology." So when you touch your heart with awareness, you're not imagining change, you're creating it. Cell by cell, this isn't about forcing an emotion to leave. It's about letting it complete its journey. Energy wants to move. And through your hands, breath, and intention, you are giving it permission. Now slowly release your hand. Let it rest by your side. Take a moment to feel the afterglow, the slight buzz, the quiet. That's your body realigning itself. That's the beginning of renewal. There comes a quiet moment after the touch, a stillness where the heart seems to whisper. Not in words, but in gentle waves of feeling. If you've ever felt tears rise for no reason, or a smile bloom without thought, that is your heart speaking back. It doesn't use language like the mind does. It speaks in rhythm, in warmth, in subtle pulses of truth. Each beat carries a message. Thank you for listening. When energy begins to move again, the first thing you might feel is release. A lightness in your chest, a sigh that feels older than you are. The body remembers everything, and when it's finally heard, it lets go. Dr. Gabor Mate, in When the Body Says No, wrote, "Our emotional experiences are not abstract. They are deeply embodied, and when repressed, they manifest as dis-ease. So what you feel now, the trembling, the warmth, the quiet ache, is not weakness. It's your body learning to trust itself again. Notice how your breath moves differently now. Maybe it's slower, more complete. This is what happens when your nervous system shifts from protection to presence. When you no longer need to guard your heart, you start to live from it. You might notice flashes of memory, moments you thought you'd forgotten, a childhood laugh, a goodbye, a hand you once held too tightly. These are echoes returning home. They surface not to hurt you, but to be witnessed. The heart is not asking you to analyze them, only to feel them and let them pass through the golden gate of awareness. Dr. Joe Dispenza describes this process as emotional recalibration. In Becoming Supernatural, he writes, "When we feel an emotion fully, without judgment, we free the body from the past and open the door to new possibilities. So as these sensations flow through you, the tightness, the tingling, the waves of warmth, trust them. You are not breaking down. You are breaking open. Now take another slow breath in through your nose and let it fall out through your mouth. With each breath, imagine your heart expanding, its field of light growing beyond your chest, radiating outward in ripples of calm. Science tells us that the electromagnetic field of the heart extends several feet beyond the body. That means every moment of peace you create literally affects the space around you. Your calm becomes a silent blessing for anyone nearby, a vibration of safety that others can feel without a word being spoken. Perhaps that's why when someone truly at peace walks into a room, everyone feels it. Because calm is contagious. Now ask your heart, softly, silently, what are you ready to release? Don't force an answer. Let it arise like a whisper carried on the wind. Maybe it's grief that's been sleeping for decades. Maybe it's guilt, or simply exhaustion from being strong for too long. Whatever surfaces, meet it with compassion. Place your hand over your chest again and imagine yourself holding that emotion like a child, not to fix it, but to comfort it. This is where healing happens. Not in pushing feelings away, but in allowing them to exist in the light of your own kindness. Dr. Greg Braden, in The Divine Matrix, explains it like this: the heart's field is the bridge between the quantum world and our emotional reality. It translates feeling into physical change. So when your heart softens, you're not only healing emotionally, you're changing the signals your body sends out to life itself. It's no longer a frequency of fear, but of peace. And peace draws miracles. Sometimes after this practice, people describe feeling as though the air around them thickens, as if the world itself is breathing slower. That's coherence. Your inner rhythm syncing with the larger rhythm of existence, and that's when the heart begins to speak in its truest voice. Not as a pulse, but as intuition, a quiet knowing that says, this is the right path, or it's time to let go, or sometimes simply rest. If you've ever felt guided without knowing why, you've already heard your heart speak. You just didn't realize it was speaking your native language, the language of energy. Now let's ground this. Take one last deep breath. Imagine the light in your heart flowing down through your ribs, your abdomen, your legs, anchoring into the earth. You are safe here. You are connected. And as that light settles, notice how your thoughts have slowed, how the noise has softened. That's what happens when the heart leads and the mind follows. You've just completed a conversation your soul has been waiting years to have. And maybe, just maybe, you can feel what ancient mystics meant when they said the heart is the first temple, and every breath inside it is a prayer. Now that you've heard your heart speak, we'll explore how to make this connection a part of your daily life, not just a moment, but a way of being. Healing isn't a single event. It's a rhythm, something you return to gently day after day until peace feels like home. What you felt just now isn't fleeting. It's the body remembering its natural state. To stay in that flow, you don't need hours of meditation, only 3 mindful minutes. Each morning, before the noise begins, place your right hand over your heart. Close your eyes. Take a slow breath in through the nose and let it fall softly out through the mouth. Whisper to yourself, I am safe. I am open. I am listening. Repeat this 3 times. That's all. Dr. Herbert Benson, in the relaxation response, found that simple daily breathing slows the heartbeat, lowers stress hormones, and rebalances the nervous system. Just by breathing consciously, you train your body to return to calm, even in chaos. Throughout your day, when emotions rise, don't fight them. Pause. Touch your heart. Inhale slowly. Feel the wave, then let it move through. That's how energy completes its cycle. And at night, before sleep, place both hands over your chest. Imagine a soft golden light expanding outward, wrapping your whole body in peace. This tiny ritual tells your heart, I'm listening again. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Moments that once triggered anxiety begin to dissolve before they start. Your body learns that peace is familiar and safety is your baseline, not the exception. Dr. Deepak Chopra, in The Healing Self, wrote, every small act of self-care is a message to your cells that life is worth protecting. This simple practice is that message, delivered daily through your own hands. Soon, you'll notice subtle shifts, clearer sleep, lighter moods, and an ease that doesn't leave when the video ends. That's how healing becomes a lifestyle, not through force, but through presence. And now that your heart has remembered its rhythm, there's one more step, a closing reminder that ties all this together into a quiet invitation for the soul. There's a silence that follows every true awakening, a silence not of emptiness, but of deep knowing. You may feel it now, that stillness within your chest, like the world has finally paused to listen with you. This is not an ending. It's the moment your heart begins to speak its native language again. You have touched the ancient code written in your own pulse. Every beat carries memory, not only of pain, but of every act of love that ever saved you. Even when you forgot, your heart did not. The Sufis once said, the heart is the throne of the divine, and whoever knows their heart knows their Lord. It's not poetry, it's physics. Your heart is an electromagnetic field of light, extending beyond your body, interacting with everything you meet. Each thought, each emotion ripples outward, returning as experience. So when you whisper peace to yourself, the universe whispers back. When you forgive, the air feels lighter. When you breathe gently, the chaos softens its edges. You have always had this power, not to control the world, but to harmonize with it. The true alchemy is not in gold, but in the quiet transformation of fear into calm, and separation into love. And now, as you sit here, perhaps you feel the soft hum in your chest, like a forgotten instrument tuning itself. That's your reminder. Whenever you lose your way, just place your hand on your heart and listen. It remembers the road home. Let this be your sacred practice to live from that center. To move gently through your days with breath as your prayer and presence as your offering. If tonight your heart feels open, if you felt something awaken, carry it forward. Share it. Speak it softly into someone else's storm. That's how healing multiplies, not in grand gestures, but in quiet transmissions of calm. And if this journey spoke to you, let your heart guide one simple act. Subscribe to Beyond the Brain, where ancient whispers and modern science meet in the space between your breaths. Your presence here isn't random, it's remembrance, because long before you heard these words, your heart already knew them. It was only waiting for you to listen again.